Hello, everyone. My name is Elijah, and today I'm talking about a major challenge in contemporary criminal justice: racial disparities in policing. This issue goes beyond isolated incidents or individual officers. Research consistently shows that Black individuals are disproportionately stopped, searched, and subjected to force by police. In this video, I'll explain what current research says about this trend, connected to a recent real-world incident, discuss why raising awareness is critical, and end it with a call to action for how we can help address this problem. Multiple studies highlight that racial disparities in policing are systemic rather than accidental. Hedy and Hamadani explained that these disparities come from both implicit bias and organizational culture within police departments. Their research shows that even well-intentioned officers can contribute to unequal outcomes when departmental norms prioritize aggressive enforcement or rely on stereotypes about crime and race. The authors argue that addressing disparities requires cultural reform, policy changes, and accountability, not just biased awareness trainings. Graham builds on this by showing how racial disparities compound over time. Black individuals are more likely than white individuals to be stopped, searched, and subjected to force, even when controlling for neighborhood crime rates. These repeated encounters often lead to fines, court involvement, probation violations, and increased risk of incarceration. Over time, this creates cumulative disadvantages that affect employment, education, mental health, and trust in the justice system. Node, Carter, and Wolf argue that simply identifying disparities is not enough. Their research emphasizes a problem-oriented approach, meaning police agencies must diagnose why disparities exist and implement targeted reforms. This includes improving data collection, evaluating officer decision-making, and changing enforcement practices that disproportionately harm certain communities. Together, these studies show that racial disparities in policing are deeply embedded in systems and practices, not isolated mistakes. A recent incident clearly reflects what this research describes. In February of 2025, William McNeil Jr., a 22-year-old Black college student from North Carolina, was pulled over by police during a traffic stop in Jacksonville, Florida. Officers claimed the stop was for minor issues, such as a seatbelt or vehicle equipment concern. McNeil recorded the interaction, and the video later went viral. In the footage, he calmly asks why he was stopped and requests to speak with a supervisor. Instead of de-escalating the situation, officers broke his driver's side window and punched him in the face before pulling him out of the car. As a result of the encounter, McNeil suffered a concussion, a chipped tooth that pierced his lip, and required multiple stitches. Despite the video evidence and his injuries, prosecutors later announced that the officers would not face criminal charges, although the department conducted an internal review. Civil rights organizations and attorneys have argued that this incident shows how quickly routine stops involving Black individuals can escalate into violence, even when there is no immediate threat. This case mirrors the research findings. Minor encounters can turn into serious uses of force, and accountability is often limited. Raising awareness about racial disparities in policing is essential because these practices affect more than just individual victims. They shape how entire communities view law enforcement and the criminal justice system. When people experience repeated stops or excessive force, trust breaks down, cooperation decreases, and community safety suffers. Understanding that these disparities are systemic, not isolated, helps shift the conversation toward meaningful reform. Awareness also creates public pressure for transparency, accountability, and policy changes that promote fairness and equity. So what can be done? First, people can educate themselves by engaging with credible research and staying informed about real-world cases. Supporting organizations that focus on police reform, data transparency, and accountability, such as policing equity or local civil rights groups, is another important step. Community members can also advocate for improved training, better data collection, and de-escalation focused policing policies. Even small actions, like sharing reliable information and participating in community discussions, can help push for long-term change. Racial disparities in policing are a systemic challenge backed by research and reflected in real-world events. Studies show how bias, culture, and policy contribute to unequal outcomes. And cases like William McNeil Jr.'s demonstrate the real human impact. By raising awareness and supporting reform, we can move toward a criminal justice system that is more fair, more accountable, and more effective for everyone. Thank you for listening. Elijah Moore out.